Sounds very interesting, guys. And you mentioned there about future applications, future uses of blockchain and Bitcoin. I was wondering, could you expand on that?
Yeah, so we are in very early days, So from its initial invention as a research project all the way back in 1991, blockchain is comfortably settling into its late 20s. And like most millennials its age, blockchain has seen its fair share of public scrutiny over the last 2 decades, with businesses around the world speculating about what the technology is capable of, and where it's heading in the years to come. But with many practical applications for the technology already being implemented and explored, blockchain is finally making a name for itself at age 27, and in no small part because of Bitcoin. And I'll just quickly talk about one future use here. So in the years to come, we could see blockchain used within healthcare. This is a really interesting concept. So essentially, imagine how sort of the NHS, how inefficient they are, as much as I do love the NHS, with regards to getting documents on time, or if you have a different GP somewhere else and a different surgeon, sometimes to get the patient information from one of them to the other, it can be quite a hassling process and it takes a lot of time. But if healthcare providers like the NHS were to leverage blockchains to securely store their patients' medical records, providing patients with the proof and confidence that their records can't be changed, it'd be a really efficient way. So wherever you go, from private healthcare to public healthcare, even if you say were in France or Hong Kong and you had an injury and there was record about what happened, it could all be added onto your one blockchain. So your string of medical history would be so easily viewable, and it's such an interesting way. But Marco, do you have any other future uses you think?
Yeah, another one is basically facilitating modern voting system, from general elections to more casual elections within different societies and different companies. This would actually make it impossible to tamper the actual votes and providing the officials nearly instant results. And so obviously, with the recent elections in the US, we wouldn't have what has happened in the last US elections. Another usage is for any types of war torn countries or areas where there's a little to non-governmental financial structures, or what we call and no recorder's office, where in those areas it's pretty much impossible to prove the ownership of a property. And so we talk right here about the recognition of property rights. And so the people in those areas can actually use blockchain as a leverage to be able to show a transparent and clear timeline of how the property, when the property was bought, when the property was bought, who was it buying from, etc., creating a clear timeline of the property ownership, and that would gladly increase the whole administrative purposes of that area. That could also work for developing countries than just developed. Lastly, and that is a topic that I'm very excited about, is the future impacts of blockchain, and we can also talk about Bitcoin on AI, IoT, so Internet of Things, distributed ledger technology, big data, robotics, and machine learning. All of these will go into the concept of decentralized governance, which will be coupled with no sign of point of failure, disintermediation, it being unalterable, and being able to to have the record of events searchable and classifiable. So making it, as I've said previously, much more efficient. For Bitcoin, we'll have what we call digital currencies and tokenization of custom financial instruments. So even more options to actually kind of go into the exchanges. And the combination with AI and IoT will create a new world of autonomous system interacting with each other through a system such as smart contracts, which we'll be talking later on with Ethereum, and basically procuring the servers from each other and settling transactions. The DeFi, which is something that a lot of people have been hearing about, which is decentralized finance and exchanges, will further its development. Those issues are very cool. We'll obviously talk about it later on. And all of this goes into the concept of decentralized autonomous organizations called DAOs. which we will also be talking later on. And so, yeah, I guess that will be the end of this part.
Thank you very much, Arthur. It seems like we covered quite a lot in our first episode, but I'm super excited for all the information that we discussed. And sure, definitely in the next episodes, we will be discussing more about Bitcoin, more about how to choose your cryptocurrency, how to invest in it, as well as other future applications of Bitcoin. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. And yeah, stay tuned for our next episodes exclusively on Lightstone Insights.
Yeah, thank you guys. We've got loads of projects we're going to talk about.
We're really excited. It's it's a new industry. There's a lot of very exciting projects and things happening, and we guess that we really want to talk about it.
Sweet, thanks, guys.